they themselves needed. So فكان هذا خلق من أخلاق الصحابة. This is one of the manners of أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, who are examples for us, who are chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be the generation around the Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم, so that he can transfer all of the يعني العلم والأخلاق والأدب, all of these manners to them, and they in turn will take it to everybody who come afterwards. They learned it. They learned it very much. يعني they mastered that. Sayyidina Umar رضي الله عنه, he was the Khalifa, and he was in charge of everything, the Khalifa al-Muslimin. And one day he sent 100 dinar for one of the companions, Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah. And he asked the boy that he sent, he said, تلك عنده ساعة فانظر ماذا يصنع. He said, go give this to Abu Ubaidah and stay there for a little bit. Spend some time there, try to waste time left and right. See what will he do with it. Abu Ubaidah took the 100 dinar and he sent one of his servants and he said, give this 10 dinars to such and such, give this 20 dinars to such and such. And he finished them all. And the boy came, he told Sayyidina Umar what happened with that. Those are real stories here. And we're not talking about people who were, many of them were rich, but many of them were also in need. He told him, here's another 100, go with it for Mu'adh ibn Jabal, the other companion of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And تلقى عنده ساعة فانظر ماذا يصنع. Spend some time and see what will he do with it. And Mu'adh did the same thing. He learned it from the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He learned it in the Quran. He learned that. He did the same thing. He asked one of his servants, go give this $10 for this family because I think they are in more need than us. This $7, this $10, this $15, until it was the last 2 dinars. Did I say dollars? Dinars back then. Dollars was not yet known. So he said, go give or dirhams, go give these dirhams. His wife, she knew what's going on in the house. No food, nothing. They need this money. And she waited, and maybe he will leave the last 10 dirhams or something. He's not leaving anything. The last 2 dirhams, she said, what about us? We are in need for that. We have nothing in the house. He said, well, fine. We can keep these 2 dinars. So this is a real story in here. They prefer others over themselves. And if we want to go over the stories, so many. What happened in the time of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-Dayf, the guest that came, and he said, I'm a guest. I don't have any place to go, and can anybody host me? And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't have anything. He asked, do we have anything to offer for our guest? Nothing. In the house of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was not poor. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not poor because of poverty. He doesn't have anything. No, he did the same thing. What Umar, Mu'adh, and all of these Sahaba, he did the same. He would receive hundreds of thousands and he would give them all in no time. He wouldn't keep anything. Actually, one day he was praying Salah and he finished Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. Usually he is sitting down, do his azkar and this, taking his time. But this time he finished Salah and he left very fast. قالوا فعجبنا من سرعته. Sahaba, they said, we wonder what's going on. He was so fast. And then he explained to them, he came later, قال ذكرت ذهيبة. I remembered a little piece of gold of sadaqah that I received, and I forgot to give it away. It was just that's what was left from a big amount that he had to give away, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So having this in mind will help us understand why he didn't have anything at his house, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had a lot of things, but he would give them all away. And then he asked everybody, famous hadith, who will host him. One Sahabi will host him. He will have his dinner, but obviously that was the only thing he got for himself, his wife and his kids. Yet, we all know the story. He sat with this guest, and he asked his wife to put off the lamp, and he said, well, let's pretend that we are eating. Pretend that we are eating, so we can, entertain our guest. And that's again another real story. He got the food. He made sure that his guest is happy and full, and he got his food. And he tried to get the kids busy with anything else. That's why. And Allah Subhanahu wa Taala revealed this ayah actually regarding this hadith of this guest. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ. They prefer others over themselves. وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. Even though they themselves, they have hustle, they have need for that food. Think about it, it's not much. It's not much in terms of quantity, but if this is the only food you get, you and your kids and your family, obviously we're not talking about halal and haram and right and wrong here. No, we're talking about different standard. Will you be in a position to offer it for somebody who is not probably in so much need, just a guest? He's not like, maybe someone else will have extra, but that's what happened with them. They did it, some of the companions, actually a slave, one of the bondsmen of Abdullah ibn Ja'far. He gave his food. Abdullah ibn Ja'far is watching. No, he was not his boy. He was just a random person he saw in the street. And he saw him. This is his story with the dog. He gave him a piece of food. One piece. The dog was so hungry and he ate it in no time. And then he saw him giving him the second piece. And then he saw him giving it the third piece. And he said, he came to the scene and he said, I just saw something strange. Do you have any other food? He said, that's all my food for today. That's the food that I got for today. That's all my food I get from my master. He said, why did you give it to the dog? He said, you know what? This place, the dogs are not common here. This dog should be coming from far away, and it's so hungry, and I just, he's probably more hungry than I am. And that's why I give him my food. Again, I'm not talking about, that's real story. Yes, dog in Islam is, a najasa, and you cannot have it in your home and everything, but that's a different story. It doesn't have anything to do with rahmah. Rahmah is something else. We also know the hadith that Bani Israel, this lady that was a prostitute, and she gave water to the dog, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of that, غفر لها, forgive all of her sins, because of this rahmah that she showed to the animal. But the story here is preferring others, even if they are animals, over ourselves. That was the standard that the Sahaba, the Ashab Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and even those, the generation who came after them, they had to, they were dealing with each other with that. Abdullah ibn Ja'far, seeing that, he said, well, he was known to be sakhi. He said, they always blame me because I'm over generous. See this guy, he's even more generous than I am. He gave all of his food to an animal, a random animal dog. And then he bought this person, and he freed him. He bought the place that he was working on, a farm, and he gave him the farm as a gift. And this is how the story ends. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. And so many other, story for even in the battlefields, for those people who are dying, and the water is there, 4 of them were there, and everybody's dying, just needs some last sip of water, and everybody will pass it to his friend. No, he's probably in more need than I am. Give it to him, until 4 of them passed away because they are severely wounded, and nobody even get the chance to get the sip of water. This is the standard we're talking about. That, if you compare that to the very materialistic life that we live nowadays, that highlights al-ana, highlights the egocentric, system that everything is me and wantonness, what I want and what, how can I achieve my desires, me. We need to go back a little bit to those akhlaq al-Quran, the manners of the Quran, that we live for others, especially the closest people to us, our family members, our friends, our community members, and for everybody at large.